Hello, Carrots here. Welcome to episode 7 of Story of Oscar and Louise. This is the final episode of Louise's life in Riverview. She's just aged up to teen, along with her sister Leanne. And here's Louise clearing away after the birthday party. Most of the guests have already gone home, but there's still a couple here. Louise's mother Lorna is getting along quite normally with this particular guest. Lorna's an evil sim, and she's mean-spirited too. Now that night, one of the brand newly aged up teenagers, Leanne, got abducted by aliens. That was something I hadn't expected to happen. Off she went. And that's her imaginary friend, Rags, who is only visible to us when Leanne is the active sim. That's the raccoon walking across the front yard there. I don't think Leanne liked that old alien very much. She certainly had a bit to say to her. Now, these two, I'm just going to show you a bit about Leanne. This has got nothing to do with Louise, but Leanne is now going to spend a very long time making very good friends with Rags, so that Rags would drink the potion that she managed to get in the last episode. So now Rags has been made real. So now she's visible to everybody and she's a playable sim. But she does have doll form, but we won't see doll form again, that's it. But you only look at her in doll form that I'm planning to show. Now she's back in her human form. I will give her a new wardrobe shortly. She's chatting with Louise. Louise has been put into stylist and given her teenage wardrobe. Now Ray, she's an evil sim as well, but she's not mean-spirited. Louise is wanting to get to know Rags a little better. I decided to rename her Ray, because I didn't like Rags as a name for a little girl or teenager. Here they go, they've decided to go out together, and the three of the girls, the three teenagers, they have arrived at Sweet Treats roller coaster park. And this is a Ferris wheel that I think it was made by Douglas Vega. It is available on Mod The Sims. And here is the merry-go-round, the venue from the Sims 3 store. They had quite a long ride on this. I actually told a few other Sims to get on there with them, but they never showed up. So it's just the three girls. And see how happily they sit on these horses? See how Ray is sitting? She must be a coward. They seem to have different poses and do different behaviours on the horses, depending on their traits. Now, after the merry-go-round ride, Louise decided she would enter a hot dog eating competition. So Leanne joined her and one of the townie Sims. Not quite sure who that sim is, but we're in Riverview, so if you know all the Sims in Riverview, you might recognise him. That outfit that Leanne is wearing is what she was given by the game when she aged up. I did give her some other outfits as well, though. I think this was about the longest hot dog eating competition I've ever witnessed. I cut a lot of it out. So Louise won. Looks like it's apple bobbing off in the background there behind Ray. You can just see them bobbing up and down whilst they bob for apples. She's happy. Let's go and look at this apple bobbing contest. Oh, so Leanne isn't doing it. She is... Oh, that's Louise, sorry. She's playing the arcade machine. Leanne is the only one with three townies. The paparazzi's sticking to Louise. It's good when she gets something out of that claw machine, because most of the time she doesn't seem to get anything. She's very happy when she gets something too. The woman in the background in the striped dress, she lives in that house on the hill that I keep getting pictures of when I get out the front and look along the street in front of the house that the girls live in. So here they are, the twins. They're about to have a roller coaster ride. I've got two separate roller coasters on this lot. There's a green one and a pink one. I think the green one takes a slightly longer time to get around. I think it's a slightly longer ride. I think there's enough attractive items on this lot to have quite a few townies here whenever we visit it. Don't you just know how she feels when it drops something on her? Now that's Leanne in the background, and she's about to start playing pool. When I made this lot, I decided to use everything that came with the Katy Perry stuff pack, all the objects. I didn't use all clothes, but all the build objects and buy objects that came with the pack. And then I recoloured things in the colours that came with the colours that I chose to use in that Katy Perry stuff pack. That's why the roller coasters are that particular shade of pink and green. That cupcake fence came with the stuff pack as well. And those stripy columns in the background. And those computer game machines on the right hand side at the back. The one that Louise was playing earlier. They're all from the Katy Perry stuff pack. So she's had enough, she's off. That's the Sim who lives in that big house on the hill at the end of the street that Louise and her sisters and family live in. It was a bonus getting Ray aging up when she did and turning real, because now there's 3 girls in the household instead of only 2. That's a pretty sunset. It's in Riverview. So they'll go home after their outing at the roller coaster park, and they're off to school for the first day since they aged up. They're going to big school now, they're teenagers, and the school's just around the corner from their house. It's not very far away, so they're with the big kids now. And after school they have a snack before they do their homework. While the girls are having a snack, Lorna, their mother, is upstairs having a little drink at the bar in the party room. Meanwhile, their father Bluey has gone to the gym to do a bit of exercise. He needed to work out for an opportunity, I think. A bit later, Lorna visited the consignment store, and being a childish Sim, she allowed herself to be distracted by the mirror. Then she had to rush off to work at the Gypsy Wagon, where she is in the fortune-telling career. After school, Leanne went to Betty Simovich's home, and Louise went home with one of the Shallow children. And Ray went straight home. It didn't take them long for all 3 of them to become A-grade students and permanently on the honour roll. One of the interesting things about this household is they've got a gnome of the darned, a little ghost gnome, and of course it attracts ghosts, and ghosts haunt it. It's being haunted at the moment. And the other interesting thing is both parents, Lorna and Bluey, are cowards, and whenever they see a ghost, they faint. And with that gnome of the darned in the house, there's a lot of ghosts and a lot of fainting going on. At the moment, that video recorder is being haunted. I'll just come out of the video camera. Now let's go watch and see what this little ghost is going to get up to. So she's gone downstairs. This is where I've put their fish tanks and the wishing well. Fishing's very important to this family because that's how they earn their income. Bluey is an angler and he's in the fishing career. It looks like she might have fed the fish or something. Bye-bye, little ghost. Off she goes. Meanwhile, Bluey's gone scuba diving. I built them a tiny little dive lot in Riverview. There wasn't much space for it, but at least he's been able to go scuba diving, and that treasure chest has revealed a few treasures for him. My ambition is to get Louise and the girls to learn to scuba dive before they age up to young adult. Today Louise is doing her homework at school. I do believe she had some after-school task to perform, and when she'd finished that task, she sat down where she was and did the homework with the assistance of a paparazzi. Back at home, there's a game of tag going on. And there's 2 evil Sims out the front yard there, Ray and Lorna. They're both evil and they both like sneaking up on other Sims to scare them. That's the walk they do when they want to scare someone. So Lorna's watching a bit of TV. Oh, she's watching a home video. They used that video camera that was haunted a while ago to record a home video of the girls watching TV. And now Lorna's watching her daughters watching TV. And then they had a pillow fight with Ray. These two should get on well together. They're both evil. I added an extra bed for Ray so that she could share the bedroom with the girls, because this family isn't very wealthy and they've only got 2 bedrooms. They've got the downstairs area where the wishing well is and the upstairs party room, and that's it. Louise is learning to fish. I'm trying to get her as many skills as possible, and she's using the wishing well, and Lorna's doing some exercises from that extra little TV that they've got downstairs. There's a bit more room down here for a workout. The problem with this wishing well at the moment is there's no pixies added. It doesn't matter what time of the day or night they go fishing here, they never see the pixies. That's because we don't have a tree of prosperity on the lot. Hello, here's another ghost that's been attracted by the gnome of the Darned. Looks like he died from drowning. He turned the music box on. Oh, he's haunting something as well. Looks like it's getting cold out, a bit frosty. There's some gnomes. There's quite a few gnomes they've collected now. Most of them come out of the wishing well. I think the gnome of the Darned actually came out of the claw machine, and I think Louise got it when she was a child. That's a baby mysterious Mr. Gnome. Hello, here's Louise and her mother having an interaction. Caught this one on video. They don't get on very well together. I think poor Louise, she can't wait till she grows up to young adult so she can leave home to get away from her dreadful mother. I don't need to actually tell Lorna to pick on Louise. She does all this autonomously. And then she makes up and she tries to be friends with her daughter, but it's not going to work. Louise falls for it for a while, but eventually she learns from her experience and she decides to just leave town as soon as she's old enough. She's made up her mind already, I think. Ray's come onto the scene to see if she can defuse the situation between the warring pair. So now Lorna wants to just talk nicely to Louise, just to keep her stringing along, so she'll stay there. And maybe Louise will change her mind and decide not to leave home after all. We'll see how things develop. Of course, if Louise doesn't leave home, if she decides to stay here, she will never meet Oscar. And it's very important to us that she does meet Oscar. About time to feed the fish. I actually was hoping the fish would breed. I think I must have picked the wrong type of fish tank, because I put a pair of crocodiles in this tank and a pair of robot fish in the other tank, and they didn't have babies, and we've only got one of each left, so they're not going to breed now. Yeah, she's scooping out the dead fish. There's a dead fish in each tank. And school days continue. Each day they get better at their schoolwork. Okay, it's after school. We're back. That's Louise's imaginary friend standing up there on the floor. She's just still a doll. Now Louise is going to have a driving lesson, I think. Blue is going to teach her to drive. I was fascinated to discover that he was in the Twizy with her, and yet he wasn't. Because when you get a close look at it, there's only enough room for one sim. So now she's finished her driving lesson, she's back home talking with her sisters. A little bit of sisterly bonding going on here. Maybe she's telling them about her driving lesson. That's a photo of the girls when they were at the festival lot. I think it's Ray and Leanne in that picture. A little bit of father-daughter bonding and just a bit of chat. Now see that green imaginary friend doll there, that's Rags. But Rags has become real, so I don't know why the green doll's still hanging around. But it is. So we'll just leave it there. So Louise is going to put the toys away. It's her parents that get them out and leave them lying around all the time. Both of her parents are childish. They're both childish, they're both cowards. But only Lorna is evil and mean-spirited. Leanne's doing a bit of housework too. She's cleaning out the fish tanks. Now, I did something about the pixies. I put a tree of prosperity out in their yard. I don't usually like to put them in the outside. I don't like the look of them. I prefer to put them in a basement, but it goes up above 2 levels, so you need a 2-level basement to put a gap in the floor for it to poke through. We don't have 2 basement levels here, so I put it outside. Sometimes you don't get pixies, sometimes you get fireflies instead. But I like it when the pixies come. They start at about 8 o'clock at night and they go through till about 3 o'clock in the morning. Louise is developing her fishing skills, so she'll have a few skills when she goes off to start her life as a young adult. And here it is, they're off to the prom. They're all dressed up in their formal outfits. Let's hope they all have a good time while they're there. Another ghost. Now he's contemplating the meaningless of life. He's a brooding sim. He has the brooding trait. So there's a tree of prosperity. And I thought, since we've got it, we might as well use it. And I want these teens to get a few skills. They're quite random. In different colour gives different groups of skills. But you can't control which particular skill they get. Here's the gnomes again. Leanne's reading a fishing book. Louise is doing some reading on her multi-tab. I've got them learning fishing and cooking. They're learning recipes, and they're also learning how about the baits for the fishing books. It's time for Louise to get an extra skill from the Tree of Prosperity. Some of the skills are a bit useless that I would never normally get for them, but they might as well have extra skills. They won't be here for much longer as teenagers. She needs the gardening skill though, so she can come out and do some tending of the garden. Once they get up to level 7 gardeners, I don't mind if they don't do any more gardening after that, because then they can plant all of the seeds that they find lying around town. And if they've got a garden at home, I'll hire the gardening service. You can get the gardening mod from Mod the Sims. And then when you get that gardening mod, you hire the gardeners on the telephone, and they come in each day and do your gardening and put your harvestables away in the fridge for you. But at the moment, Louise is still learning gardening skills, so she has to do the gardening herself. As you can tell, I quite like gnomes. I actually started a thread in the store forum general discussion about gnomes, Mysterious Mr. Gnome. It's still going, so if you want to learn a bit about gnomes, you can go and look it up. It's usually on the front page of the store general discussion forum. So we're having a family outing at the fish hatchery. We're all going fishing, except for Ray. She's catching a beetle. But then she'll go fishing. Now I thought she'd stand where she was to fish, but she didn't. She decided that she'd go on a big detour and come and stand on the bridge. Oh, she's going to pick a flower first, and then she's going to go and stand on the bridge to fish, just to make the other 3 further away from the camera. We'll watch them fish for a little bit, and then we'll go on to something else. I think this is the only place in Riverview where you can actually catch the saltwater fish. Now I sent the girls to the dive lot, but they couldn't dive because they haven't got sufficiently high diving skill. They need to do a lot of snorkeling. Then they went home, took care of the fish. That tree there, that plant, that is actually a fig, but it's a scratching post for cats. But I thought it looks quite nice. They don't have a cat. I think I might have to get Louise to make sure she tapes her imaginary friend with her when she leaves, when she grows up. And the pixies are back another night. They're growing up. The girls are getting older. All 3 of them are very good students. And Louise has been painting. She's got the artistic trait. I think I'll leave that with her when she grows up. You see that painting of the 3 plum bobs in the distance there on the wall? Bluey found that in a treasure chest when he went diving. You can hear the pixies. It's a tinkling sound. Tinkling crystal, that's what the sound of the pixies is like. So Ray's turn to get a skill. Now I like the green skills the best because they're useful skills, such as fishing and cooking, and others like that as well. So Ray and Bluey are playing catch now. Or playing tag, I think it's called. Hello, the zombies are out and they're attacking the garden because I forgot to lock the gate. And the ghosts are around too. There's only one zombie in the garden. I think I'll lock him in there. Yeah, Gates locked now. Not particularly happy about this. It's funny how he's not frightened of the gnome of the Darn, but he's terrified of the ghosts. See, he's not looking at the ghost. He didn't see that ghost. That's why he didn't faint, even though the gnome's being haunted. Louise having a nice friendly chat with her father. And a good laugh. Now here the girls are at the river in Riverview, and they're doing some snorkeling, because I want them to learn to do some scuba diving. There's some fish jumping there. So they're going to snorkel until they've got their diving skill up to level 2, because they need to be level 2 at diving before they can dive in that dive lot. But they can find things while they're scuba diving or snorkeling, such as seashells and gems. There's all sorts of funny things floating around when they go snorkeling. But I thought this was more convenient than sending them all the way out to the dive lot to go snorkeling. They can do it in the river just as well. Now they've got their skill up, and here they are. They're going on their first scuba dive at the dive lot in Riverview, and there's a whole lot of other Sims have turned up as well to help them by the look of it. It's a celebration of the Sims. We're all going to try to dive at once in a tiny, minute little dive lot. Now I'm going to get Louise to open up those treasure chests, because they did get reset. Oh, there's a mermaid turned up. Wonder who that is. That's not one I've put in the game. She's just arrived. She's an elder. It's the first time I've seen her, I think, in this game. Sometimes if you build a dive lot, when your Sims go diving, you'll see a mermaid will just appear. As you can see, it's a very small dive lot. Mermaid's had enough. She's gone. I don't think it's much fun for a mermaid just in that little area. But I don't think they're restricted to dive lots. They can swim anywhere they like. She's got some treasure to take with her when she grows up. At the moment, what I'm doing with Louise is I do want her to move out as soon as she becomes a young adult. And she's going to age up shortly, because she is on the honour roll at school, and I want her to have her new life with a lot of skills, or quite a few skills, and some treasure, some valuables, because she won't be able to take any money with her, or very little money, because there's not much money in this household. So what she finds, whether it be from the dive lots or catching of valuable fish or finding insects or gems, she'll keep those things in her inventory, and she'll take them with her when she leaves. I found quite a few messages in bottles in this little tiny dive lot, but we didn't get any today. We're just going to go home now. Now let's all three of us squeeze into a little one-person's twizzy. They went to France, so that's why they jumped into the little tiny car. They had to travel to France. I thought it'd be a good idea if Louise got some books from the bookstore here. She had an opportunity and she needed one of the books, but they don't have enough money to actually buy all of the books she'd like. She spent quite a lot of time running around collecting things. First of all, she was picking grapes. She got as many grapes as she could, and catching butterflies, and we went chasing butterflies at night, and she caught a few fireflies. This old nectary, the old abandoned nectary, that's a good place to go to get grapes. They're usually harvestable here, and that's also an interesting house to live in if your Sims have got up to level 3 with their visa skill. In their visa level 3 in France, they can to get a holiday home, and I've used that old abandoned nectary before, and it's been a bit of fun. Now, these are very rare. You hardly ever see them, these pink butterflies, and I should have got Louise to catch them, because Ray turned out to be completely hopeless, because I really wanted her to catch one of them, but Louise was off somewhere else, and I couldn't get her back here quickly enough, and I was scared they'd vanish, so I thought Ray could come over and catch them. Big mistake. Here she comes. Come on, catch one. So she clapped it and dropped it. That is the first time I've seen them spawn in one of my games for literally real-time months. Perhaps close to 6 months. Yeah, I feel like that too, actually, seeing your ineptitude in catching those very valuable and rare butterflies. They're good to have if you have got there's a mod you can get where you get extra elixirs, and if you get that mod, one of the elixirs is to turn a horse into a unicorn, and you need one of those pink butterflies, I think, to do it. So she's come to the actual nectary now. This is the nectary that's currently still operating. There's other grapes that you can get here. Of course, you can't get all of the grapes. Some of them you need to either buy or get adventures. She's watching a little bird. The others are fishing. This is a good fishing spot in France. You can get lots of butterflies and wildflowers, as well as frogs and toads and salamanders and all sorts of other things. And there's a massive big tomb underneath. If you've got the Pangu's axe from China, you can smash those boulders and get a big tomb. It's not part of an adventure. Here we are back at the base camp. The girls managed to get themselves beds for the night. They got back early enough to find somewhere to sleep, and Bluey and Lorna. Oh yeah, Ray's got a bed by herself. Bluey and Lorna are sharing one. Oh, there's a snake and a red cardinal. I think I'd sell them both if I was to catch them. I'd like to be able to keep the bird, but they die, so there's not much point. I've even got a mod in that's supposed to stop that from happening, but it doesn't seem to. I've tried it with different birds, and they usually end up dead within a few days, so just sell them, get the money. And she's going to watch it as well. They watch them because they can't yet pick it up. But she can catch that snake. The way to spend some time in France: go fishing and chasing insects. Sometimes I try to catch all the butterflies that are fluttering around here, but it's hopeless because they keep spawning. That's that old nectary again. Here's Louise chasing insects. We're not doing any adventures this visit to France. We're just here to collect a few things for Louise to take with her when she leaves home. She's going to have a nice variety of butterflies. Missed that one, but I don't mind. That's a very common one. They catch them all the time. So we're meeting up just outside the base camp. Why would Louise want to stay? Her sister and her mother are both being mean and nasty to her. I don't like it when they go nice and then nasty and then nice and then nasty and then nice, so that you'll just stay around so they can keep you there, so you can just be nasty to you over and over again. Here she is, catching fireflies. You need them for elixirs. I'm not sure if she's going to be making elixirs later on, but she'll be well stocked up with insect life that she needs to make elixirs with. It's good to get different coloured ones too, because different elixirs sometimes require different coloured fireflies. I know the cerulean or the blue ones aren't needed. Now, Bluey has returned home from a trip to find a fire. The barbecue's on fire. And he does what all good cowards do when confronted with an emergency: he faints. And of course the gate's locked, so nobody can get in, and I can't unlock it when both of the Sims on the lot are fainted. And Lorna's chosen a good place to faint, right next to the fire. I bet she catches on fire. Must have unlocked the gate at some point. I don't know how it started. Maybe somebody, possibly Lorna, was cooking hot dogs and abandoned them and let the thing catch fire. But that's just a guess. I don't know how it started. At this point I'm thinking maybe Lorna will be a ghost, by death by fire, just so long as she passes her genes onto her grandchildren. Since nobody there that I can tell to call the fire brigade, and the children are at school, hopefully if she starts burning, I can tell her, she'll wake up and I can tell her to go and have a shower or something. That's it, she stood up. She's on fire now. Yeah, she's going to put herself out. There's a shower inside there. He's taking a toddler into the flames. Let me put it down over there. This is typical Sims. They all stand there and panic. Nobody's called the fire brigade. The children are still at school and I can't get them to do anything. Blue is fully occupied fainting. Hello, somebody must have come. Oh no, haven't come home from school yet. Just that the barbecue's burnt all it can burn. Now the table's on fire. Here they come home from school. Now we can get things under control. Here's the fire brigade. Somebody called the fire brigade at last. I told all three girls to do that, I think. And Lorna. And Bluey. But Bluey's still unconscious. The girls are trying to put out the fire. There's the fire engine. Looks like one of those Sims was on fire. It's all singed. Lucky he didn't just start catching on fire again. Would have been done at one dead sim. Well, I think it might be time to age up. We're going to get Ray to age up first, just because she's obviously been somewhere and got all wet. I'm trying to squeeze the birthdays into time when they're not at school, because I didn't want to wait a whole week for them to age up. So the whole family's here now, and she's made a wish. So now she's going to spin into her new age. And she was on the honour roll, so we get to pick her new trait. And I think she's going to get green thumb. Let's see what she gets. And after the party, Bluey went downstairs to contemplate the hollowness of life. Sitting on the floor doing the brooding sim thing on the ground. Now it's the next day and Louise is about to age up. She's the oldest, she was the first born, and I have given Ray a complete new wardrobe, and she's joined the fishing career. Wasn't able to get them all clearly in view of the camera, unfortunately. So now Louise is a young adult, almost. I think it's irreversible from this point. What an outfit, and she's kept the teenaged hair. Now she's got specific traits that she needs to have, and the only one she's got at the moment that she shouldn't have is artistic, and I tried to get rid of it but I couldn't, so she might be stuck with it for a while. And the trait she should have instead of artistic is dislikes children. Then I've decided that she can keep artistic. I think she'll make more use of that one. Golden tongue, golden fingers. It's a nice lifetime wish for her. So I've only got Leanne left to age up. So here's Leanne with her cake. It's a pretty dress she's got, not like Louise's ghastly outfit. So now everybody's all grown up. I'm going to take Louise into Creator Sim, or Stylist probably, and give her new hair and a new outfit, because we've got a specific look for Louise. Louise is based on a sim that I made as a base game sim, and I played with for a while, and she was just so hysterically funny that I decided I needed to make a video of her with her life with her husband, Oscar. Now, we haven't really seen her and Oscar together yet. We've met Oscar in the first 3 chapters of this video series, first 3 episodes, and now we've done 4 on Louise. And here she is now, dressed up as she will appear when she meets Oscar. She's got her base game outfit on and her base game hair. I think she's actually got her entire wardrobe that she had as a base game sim. And when she was born, I changed all of her features so that she looked the same as the base game sim, the original Louise. Because when she was born, she and Leanne were identical twins. But I remembered what skin I had given the original Louise when she was in the game with Oscar. I gave them both special custom content skins. So now Louise is all ready to leave home. Just an opportunity for one last argument with her mother, just to make up her mind for good that she's definitely going. Now I've sent her off to Hidden Springs. So from here on in, it's all about Louise. This is because I've got the NRAS Traveller mod. It lets me send them anywhere I like, any world that I've got installed. I've got a lot of player-made worlds installed, but there we are. She's picked Hidden Springs, and that's where she'll meet up with Oscar. And in the next episode, you will find her already living in Hidden Springs. She'll just arrive there, and I'll give her a temporary accommodation, and life for Louise will begin in earnest now. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video series so far, and this is the point where it's going to get really interesting. So goodbye for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.